I appreciate you coming on in. I know you're a subscriber, Conundrum. So I do appreciate you, brother, for sharing that with us, and thank you so much, man.
Yeah, no problem. I can stick around if you want or whatever.
Yeah, you can hang out backstage. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. I see my buddy Daily Dan has popped back, and Daily Dan has sent me some cool stuff the last few days, and so I'm gonna bring up Mr. Dan here. And Will, you can chime. Will, you can chime in whenever you want. You can be part of the show for us today if you like. Hey, what's happening?
Greetings from South Carolina.
Well, thanks for coming on in.
Well, I kind of felt like I had to. You called me out, Rob. You said, come on up, Dan.
Well, you sent me some stuff lately, which I found to be interesting, First of all, Daily Dan, big supporter of the show. He's been a member with me ever since I started, right, Dan? You always promote me on your show.
Oh, yeah, I do a comic book video on Tuesdays. I always bring up these books.
Yeah.
Talk about Rob.
There it is. So that's great. Dan's a great guy, supports me, buys the books, talks about them all the time, which I appreciate. So I certainly appreciate you coming on. What's happening, buddy?
I'm disappointed that I haven't got to start reading book 2 yet because I've been so backlogged with doing stuff and busy with grandkids and summertime crap.
Yeah, well, you got the book. You can read it next year. I got a pile of about 20 or 30 books that people have either sent me or I've bought that I've yet to open.
Oh, God. Me too. I just got this other book from a friend of mine who's an author like you named E. McGill, the Unapologetic Geek here on YouTube.
Okay.
And he's got a time travel book I just got. I got to get to that one, too.
I love time travel.
Yeah, he does very interesting stuff on his channel. You'll like it. It's all about old TV shows and old movies and stuff.
Yeah, awesome. So what brings you on, man? What you got to share with us?
Well, like I said before, I'm in a turning point frame of mind right now. All my life I have subscribed to the fact that I thought Bigfoot was just another animal, just a biological creature in the woods, just an undiscovered primate like most researchers think it is. But now I'm leaning a little bit towards the paranormal, or maybe it's something different, because it's been like so many years and there's not been a body and there's not been no evidence. It's leaning more towards something more than most likely paranormal. I think somebody's going to have to agree, or alien even. But recently I have seen something in the trees, and it's just a shape. And if you called me out on it, I'd say it looked like something from the movie Predator, this cloaky-looking shape moving through the trees. It moves through the trees so smooth you barely see the limbs move. And I've actually managed to catch a little bit of it once in a while on video, and I've got that up on a couple of channels, being able to check that out.
Yeah, go check it out. You sent me a couple of those picture images. I don't have access to them, but yeah, I don't know what that is, man. It looks very, it's like the first thing I thought when you sent me that was, I thought, not Predator, but I thought like the Glimmer Man.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not all the time. It seems to be, I see it more when there's hiding electrical activity, like thunderstorms and stuff. And at first I was thinking it might be atmospherical, like the forming of a lightning ball or a distortion based on humidity or something. But I've researched that quite a lot, and there's nothing like that. There are no pictures of anything similar to that phenomenon. So I've kind of ruled it out being a weather thing. I can't place what it is, and it bothers me. And there was one time that I was watching the distortion, and just for a second, like maybe a second and a half, snap, the distortion was cleared up a little bit, and it was like Harry and the Hendersons sitting there in the tree. And then it went back distorted real quick. That video's up on Project Cryptid. And I can't explain it. I really can't. I don't know what to think of it. There's something in the level of paranormal, I'm sure.
Yeah, just like me and Will were just talking about, it's just a mystery, and you see something, you don't know exactly what it is, right?
Yeah, well, that's my whole life. I don't know what none of this stuff is.
Well, I've known you for quite a long time, and over the years we've talked about certain things, and where you do live, you have all sorts of paranormal, if you will, going on. And
but you got to got to remember, I live on top of what they used to call a mound, and the mound has been cut down over halfway down the size it used to be, scraped off in a field, planted on top of it for years, and now a housing area.
Okay.
And they're still clearing land on two sides of me right now. And the more they put bulldozers in and knock down trees, and it seems like the more I hear sounds and the more I see weird stuff.
So you think it kind of flushes them out of their habitat?
I don't know, but I think that maybe the disturbance of the land might be something to do with it. I'm not sure. But it does seem like the more, like in the wintertime, the activity's down to a lull. You know, I'm complaining because there's nothing going on. But then when it starts getting summer and the people get out and start cutting down trees and bulldozing the lot next to me and clearing the land behind me, then I start hearing weird sounds and seeing weird things in the trees and seeing them shadow people or whatever you call it. Big dark shapes that move through the woods that I can't never figure out what they are. My neighbors see them and hear them too, by the way.
Can I ask Dan a question?
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
Yeah, so, you know, you've been experiencing this for a long time. You've probably been researching about it. Have, in your research, and do you believe that crystals within the ground could be a lens or a focal point for these anomalies that pop up? So with that said, so like we're hearing what you said, and they're digging up the ground, they're knocking down trees. What's the crystals like in that area? Are they high? Are they low? Because it's a research thing that I'm trying to figure out too, right? So I feel that upon when I'm listening to people's stuff, I feel the crystals or something, quartz, anything. If it's a high volume, you're going to see more of these.
I have seen a little bit of quartz around here. Mostly it's what they call mirror rock. That's the lactite looking stuff that shines.
Yeah.
But we don't have no exact minerals that would be high concentrates in this area that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. So nothing that you probably noticed or heard, right? Could it be like a database you could access maybe or something like that? Like, I don't know how deep you get into that stuff, right? Because
I know a little bit about mineralogy. I'm first. I have books about rocks and stuff. You know, I know how to identify stones.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I got another question.
I find a lot of Native American artifacts in the area, like pottery and arrowheads, and the rocks they used to carve with and stuff. There was a native village very close to where I'm at.
Interesting. So my first, another question I want to ask, your first...
I only noticed what was going on when I moved here because of my past. I was a paranormal investigator for most of my life. I've been out on ghost hunts and Bigfoot hunts and monster hunts my whole life. My mother was a paranormal investigator and a photographer. She did a lot of supernatural photo work. My mom actually did photo work with Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Oh, she did?
Yeah, so I'm from a family of ghost hunters and paranormal people. And when I was years old, I saw something in the woods that I can only say was a Bigfoot. It was a monster. You know, I've seen the creature.
Hey, really quickly, you guys, Amanda. Hello, Amanda's Crazy Life channel. You guys, since we're all here together, thanks for popping on in for this impromptu call-in show. Rob, do you or any of the guests think Bigfoot may have the power to control our thoughts to make it seem he's not right there? And I will give you my thought really quick, Amanda, because it's kind of like I came across this just the other day. I was talking to this person. You know, we all have heard about Bigfoot cloaks, right? It comes in and disappears. And this is not like what I believe, but it's food for thought, right? Maybe it's not Bigfoot that is actually cloaking, right? Maybe it's Bigfoot that is causing is swaying our perception. Maybe like you see a Bigfoot and all of a sudden it disappears. Well, maybe it's the fact that it's not there to begin with, but something else is projecting that into our mind.
Okay, well, my answer to that is if it can project an image for you that makes you see something else, how is it affecting cameras and videos too? And if it's that powerful to do that, you're definitely dealing with alien technology or paranormal, because no natural creature can do that, right?
Can I add to that?
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
I think the opposite of that, Dan. I'm not being, I'm just conversation.
Yeah,
I feel they had.
I have to let out the dog. Continue. I'll be right back. But yeah, you guys go back and forth.
Okay. Just to, I like to think it inside the box and stuff, but maybe it does have a natural way to cloak itself or distort itself, like how like a lizard. Hold on.
I agree with you 100%. I've always been of that theory that Bigfoot has some kind of cloaking ability, like a natural ability, like a chameleon. But
Right.
now, after years and years of research and after years and years of observation, I find that to be highly unlikely.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's highly unlikely, but I'm just going to leave it at that. Like I said, I've always been the person who looked for a natural explanation for everything. I saw something when I was young. What I saw wasn't an alien. It was a big hairy monster that looked like a cross between a gorilla and a man. It did not look nothing extraterrestrial or paranormal. It just looked like a regular animal. It scared me. I ran away. That's my story,
So I wanted to ask you your first kind of experience, and then and how it affects you later in life, and also do you find yourself more open to those experiences, meaning you will see more of it? You know what I mean? Is that how it's going in life, or was it a huge thing then, and it's just had to slow down, like kind of thing?
Okay. When I was 11 years old, I saw something hairy that scared me really bad. And I got really upset about that and bought some really big guns. And spent the next 40 years planning to put that head over the fireplace because it scared me. And I never saw, and I never come close. I found footprints, I found hair in trees, but I never come close to seeing it again. Till way after I'd put guns down, and way after I'd quit hunting, and way after I decided I was going to catch it on video instead of kill it. Then I saw something else in the woods. And to this day, I'm not sure the hairy thing I saw the second time was the same thing I saw the first time. The first time I saw the hairy creature that I saw, it had real short fur like a bear and had a definite pushed-in look to the face. The second time I saw something was from the rear. I never saw its face. I saw its junk and it was huge, but it had long, shaggy hair like a Wookiee. It looked more like something out of Star Wars than a Bigfoot. So the two things I saw were completely the same but different, if you understand what I'm saying. And they were 40 years apart. 40 years apart, man. And that's spending. When I first started YouTube, I would spend 60 hours a week hiking and in the woods and doing investigations and going out on people's signs, and did not see stuff. I found footprints, but I didn't see the monster. And
Very interesting.
It's very. I still got lucky if I had not had a major knee situation involved, where they telling me I need surgery on my knee because I'm having trouble walking right now, and that slowed me down a lot for getting out on other sightings or investigations in my area. I get enough crap going on right here in my neighborhood though to really keep me busy.
So really quickly, I see we have I can't read you. Erna I'm going to bring up in just a second. So I'm going to rephrase my last question really quick, and I'll bring up our other caller or streamer coming on in. So do you think if you see a Bigfoot in the woods, you can't capture it on film, and then all of a sudden you can't see it, do you think, though, that it can project itself mentally that it's not there when it really hasn't gone anywhere? Let's say that it's still standing there. It's still standing there, just like I can see you two right now. Do you think that it's still there, but it can project the image that it disappeared when in fact it's physically still right there? Dan, you're shaking your head. You're on mute.
There's 2 levels of that. Okay, if there's a creature right here and it's putting the mental thing in my head where I can't see it, that is possible. That's some kind of telepathy. I can accept that. But if I've got my video camera on and it's not picking it up, mental telepathy cannot affect technology, and therefore it has to be something alien or technical to affect that camera. It can't be, oh, I'm going to affect it with my mind. We're not Jedis, and Bigfoot probably isn't neither. I'm just
Okay,
saying,
very good.
you know?
No, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. Again,
I don't think nothing with mental abilities that can affect technology like cameras and stuff. And if it can, we got a problem. A big problem.
Will, quick thought on that, and I'm going to bring up Erna.
Yeah, I've been in that state. Rob and I kind of talked about that. Literally not seeing what's in front of me, and then an image pops in my head. So that effect, why couldn't Bigfoot access that ability? Naturally, I can do it. Right? And Rob and I just talked about it. Like how that, seeing my object, now I get these daydreams where literally I could be staring at a tree and then all of a sudden something else pops in my mind and all I can see in my mind is what I'm thinking about. Not the tree. The tree disappears. You know what I mean? So if somebody was to walk by me, and I said this before, I probably wouldn't see them because I'm so in thought. So why couldn't Bigfoot, if they had the access to that type of function your brain gives off? You know what I mean? I feel that could be possible. I'm not saying it's not because I don't know, right? But it is possible.
I'm saying Bigfoot could not affect your mind if it was a one-on-one situation. But at the same time, you were standing in front of a trail camera. He couldn't do that because he'd show up on the trail camera because he can't affect technology.
I think, it's a great discussion for debate. I can see both sides. I think that Bigfoot can play tricks on our mind or anything paranormal. Not suggesting Bigfoot's paranormal because I think it's both. But with that,
Rob,
yeah.
Hold on, Rob, real quick. Can I have 2 more minutes to do a shout out for a friend of ours? I was on with the Moglion Monster recently for his 500th live stream special. Moglion, Russell, he's a good friend of ours. And they were doing a big giveaway at the end of the show. And I never win nothing because I have horrible luck at contests. But for the first time ever, Rob, on the 500th episode of Moglion Monster, I won the prize. I won the big prize. And LIB, Long Island Bigfoot Mike, put the prize up. So thank you, Mike.
All right,
And
that's
it's
cool.
Incredibly cool pair of the night vision binoculars.
Well, I tell you what, you need those in your part of town.
And now there's a very good chance on it. And you can even put the camera up to it and film what you're seeing because of the wide view thing. So there's a good chance that I may actually get a video shot at night of whatever has been creeping around the backyard stealing trash for 2 years. I've been trying to figure out what that thing was, and now I stand a good chance thanks to having night vision equipment that I have not had access to before.
Yep. Moglion Monster, good friend. And yes, I met the Moglion Monster a couple of years ago in Alabama. Pretty cool guy. Very tall. Very tall guy. That's all I'll say. That's the first time I met him in person. So we had Erda out back who's been waiting for a little bit. I think I'm saying it right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and file on out, guys. Nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Daily Dan, always a pleasure, Daily. Daily Dan, I appreciate your support.
Rob, anytime you want me on as a guest, all you got to do is shoot me
I
a text.
know, I just call you, brother. I appreciate the shout-outs you give me on your channel. Daily Dan, go check them out on YouTube.
And I understand you're not showing the picture of the Bigfoot with the big jump.
Well, no. That's a Donnie Cho show. I'll send it.
Y'all send that one to Donnie and make him show it for everybody.
I will, brother. Thanks, Dan.
All right. Happy trails, everybody. And be sure to check me out on Fresh Pondo Ponds on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. every other week for our old trivia movie show.
Yeah, that's a good time. Thanks, Dan.
All right. Happy trails.
Happy trail. Erna, you there?